Welcome everyone, welcome my audience. Today you're listening to the Krabby Club. You're probably wondering, what the hell is this? This is the Krabby Club podcast. I was thinking maybe I should make something for this channel where I could talk about many different things other than just making a video about it. And rather than making it face to face, actually get the products and everything like that, I would want to talk about it. So I'm talking about a few different things on this podcast. Every episode will be a topic, and I hope this is weekly. If it's not, I'm screwed. So today's episode, we're talking about the Househusband, The Way of the Househusband. It's a manga I was reading. I was recommended this by my cousin back in July or June, back when I had to go on a business trip, or more like vacation. And he recommended it to me because we were both bored in this stupid quinceañera party, and I didn't want to deal with it, and I started reading manga. So he recommended The Way of the Househusband. I really enjoyed it, and I bought it, and now I'm reviewing it. So yeah, I haven't bought the second one, and the third volume comes out until like May, so I have a lot of time. So this script I wrote, it's a long time ago. Okay, I just said that completely wrong. I wrote this a long time ago. I usually try to skip some words in my sentences because some people can just plug it in right instantly. With their mind, if someone's speaking and they forget a word, their brain will just input it. So usually that's what I'm doing for some reason. English isn't my first language, and I had to learn it myself, and it was very difficult. Still is, but okay, let's hope I wrote something good. So in the script, I do say that I'm reviewing a few chapters of the manga. I'm actually only reviewing the first chapter, and it's the first one you read at the beginning of the book. So let's see what I wrote, and yeah, let's see what my opinion was. I don't think I had an opinion. I think I just reviewed the entire chapter. At first, the manga title sounds pretty bad, giving people second thoughts, you know. A story with just saying, hey, the way of the Househusband. But for me, that really doesn't, confuse me. I've read a lot of weird stories, a lot of different titles, and this is actually pretty normal compared to the really long-ass ones. Like, part of a harem, but I'm gay, so this is hell for me. I think that's a manga, or a one-shot or something. It was a long time ago. It was back when manga rock was still going around. Okay, giving the people second thoughts. But all that changes the first time you start reading the description of the book. The fiercest of Yakuza underground, leaving countless legends behind him, and gaining the title of the Immortal Dragon. This all changes after he decides he wants to travel a different path, the path of the Househusband. But hey, you gotta give man respect. You became a legend. You became the fiercest. You just want to settle down, you know? What's better than becoming a legend, you know what I'm saying? Even though this manga didn't sound very interesting at first, the first panel caught my eye and made me interested in the story. I only go over some of the chapters in the first volume to try to convince you, the audience, to go read the story yourselves. So let's begin with the first ever manga review. And that's where I'm wrong. I didn't review a lot of chapters. I gave up after the first one, much because of my grammar. I wonder why. Yeah, if any of you say, my grammar's bad, well, no shit, Sherlock. English isn't my first language. Oh my god. Okay, let's start this. The story begins with the imaginary... Imaginary? What the hell was I saying? It's not imaginary. The story begins with the first few panels showing the daily morning routine of the main character, Tachan. First of all, I cannot say any of the Japanese names. I'm not Japanese, and yeah, that's it. Even though the first line of dialogue is spoken until page 5, I gotta say, there's not a lot of things said in the story. It's a lot of facial expressions too. The art and character movement don't need any explanation for the character's actions. And that's true, there's a lot of actions that can be explained by just looking at it and not having to read everything and be like, what's he thinking? It's like, most of the time I'm doing an action, I'm not thinking about anything. So yeah, I mean, you're a Yakuza, you're probably just... So if you're a Yakuza killing someone, you're probably not thinking of anyone or anything. Anyone or anything, that's what I meant. But now, this time, he awakens by getting ready and beginning his morning routine of making breakfast. This is not too far from people's normal routines in the morning. This opinion changes really fast the moment he starts wearing a cute apron and making a bento in a bento magical girl box. It's a magical girl series that the wife really enjoys in the manga. And the story proceeds to surprise you by showing that this ex-Yakuza has a beautiful wife living with him, and she's the main processor of income for the household. So she's the one wearing the pants for making money. But the thing is, he's a legendary Yakuza. Gotta give the man respect. As she awakes in a hurry, she's forgetting that she had an important meeting this morning, and she leaves the household in a hurry, leaving breakfast and not getting her lunch. This came to pass as he notices from the corner of his eye that she had forgotten her lunch without the means of making her come back because of the lack of time. So what I try to say here, an explanation, is that right after she left, there had been, let's say, around 30 minutes in, it would have been around 30 minutes in manga time, because right after that, he takes his bike and he leaves. So technically in the story, if she had forgotten, she would have came back, even if it was like 5-minute walk still from her destination that she had reached, coming back, get it, and then left again. But from the context of the story, it had seemed like around 30 minutes had already left, and she was probably already near her work that she couldn't make it back before she was actually late. Well, extremely late. And let's continue, if I remember where I left off. He suits up, placing the food in a briefcase, and taking his trusty bike, he heads out to take her lunch. Until he is completely stopped by the cops walking by, asking what his profession was. As he answers with the angriest and most serious face. It was mostly like a serious, angry tone. I am a house husband. I gotta say, if I was told that as a cop, I'd laughing my ass off. Unless he was a Yakuza, then I would get my ass kicked. Okay, at first the cops were surprised until the cop noticed his face and remembered that he was the immortal dragon, recalling all his past actions. As he reached for his coat, the police got startled for what he was reaching for. It was actually just a coupon. He was offering it to the officer and trying to leave. But he wasn't going to be let off that easily, and that's where the first story ends. And that's kind of true. I mean, a cop would get startled, especially from an ex-Yakuza, that he doesn't know he's an ex-Yakuza, just because he recalls he's a Yakuza with a legend and also with a title, the Immortal Dragon, for a reason. So if you're a guy with a title, Yakuza, and you're reaching for your coat, most times cops will get startled because sometimes you're reaching for a weapon or something dangerous. Most of the time it's not. In Japan, I don't think Yakuza are seen that often, mostly because they're Yakuza. I mean, you don't want to get found or you're going to be thrown into the can, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was my first manga review, and really damn short. I mean, it was 9 minutes. But, yeah, that was mostly it. And, yeah, I don't know where to go from here. The story is very good, has a lot of chapters-ish. If you want to get the physical manga, I recommend you go get it from Amazon. Mostly there just because they do quick shipping, it's in great condition, and also they have a lot of discounts. I bought mine like at $8 from the normal $12 or something, so I saved like $8, and then with a discount I had, I actually saved even more. I paid like $5 for it. And for a story I really enjoy, because I don't really like a lot of stories or a lot of anime that people recommend to me. And one of them is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I saw up to halfway of season 3. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't my cup of tea. But I don't mind giving it a try eventually. Maybe if I'm in my grave, that'd be even better. I wouldn't have to listen to it. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more manga. You know, just because it's very short, I want to make it a little bit longer for episode 1, you know what I'm saying? So, I gotta say, a lot of people say that the manga isn't as good as the anime. And some people say the manga was better than the anime. And I gotta say, sometimes both of them are right. Because some actions that you read in manga. So imagine an amazing action sequence that you saw in a manga. Let's say the most favored one, the one from Demon Slayer against that spider dude, I forget his name, whatever he's dead, was not translated. It looked amazing in the manga, but then you have your imagination for it. But now you didn't. It looks really amazing, And of course, with Ufotable making it and animating it, you know it's gonna be amazing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's not too bad. But then people say, oh, Dr. Stone, it's amazing, you know. Personally, I don't like the Dr. Stone anime. I prefer the manga. Even a few months before the anime was actually announced, I mean, not announced, released the first episode, I had already read up to 50-ish chapters. I have to go back and read it some more, as well as the Black Clover. Black Clover, first few episodes, yelling, a lot of not plot. I didn't really like that. And I can tell you how much. So I used to use an app called Manga Rock. Now it's not. It's gone. I use Super Manga now. So one night I was watching some of the Black Clover anime. You know, I saw episode 190 up to 195, and I was like, damn, it's so damn good. I forgot how good it was. So I was like, maybe I should go back. But rather than watching it, I went and read it. And I read all the way from where I stopped around chapter 75, right when the new leader of the Crimson Lions, I think it was, took over. So the sister of Leo. And from there all the way towards the big fight with the devil. And with the first king showing up and all that. That's where I stopped. Oh no, where I actually stopped, it was right after. Okay, this is a big spoiler if you don't want to know, if you're a big fan of Black Clover. But it was after he was shown to be alive. You know, like his magic, blah blah blah. Hey, I'm not actually dead. And yeah, that was it. Right after all the events had happened. So I read pretty damn far in only a few hours. Actually, even in a few hours, it was 8 o'clock and it became 1 right after I was done. So I read a pretty much around 100 chapters that night. And that was pretty awesome. And I gotta say, there are a lot. Like, another one I really enjoyed that I read recently. Well, not really enjoyed because there was a lot of death. I don't mind death. But the problem is sometimes they overdo it, they overgore it, and I don't like that, especially when it gets really fucking weird. And one of them was the Island of the Giant Insects. It was announced, it was a big thing, you know, sure, I got ripped by a freaking larva or whatever it was. And yeah, that was pretty cool, I liked the concept, but the main character did not make sense at all at first. Like, compared to the one you saw in the anime where 4 girls got stranded in an island, and one of them had been trained by her father to do this. We didn't find out about this girl's story until who knows how far into the story. So we didn't know how she knew anything about insects or anything about this. She was wearing like a cowboy looking outfit. I'm like, you're on a school field trip. How the hell did they let you wear that? It's Japan, but it's also a manga. I'm not surprised. 16-year-olds have like 6 or 8 packs, or 12 packs in some anime. But, you know. So some of them are pretty good, some of them are pretty bad. Yeah, it's just, I saw a lot of people being, oh, Dr. Stone was so amazing, this episode, that episode. I was like, yeah, but the manga was better. Because I don't have to deal with so much damn science. Because some of the science they talk about, I know how it works. Because I used to read all of the science books. I wanted to know how to do this. I used to build my own little machineries and stuff as a kid. Not anymore, just because, I do with my PC, but I don't do it as often, and I usually stay away from it, so that's what I do. And now that I've read it, Dr. Stone, I gotta say that the anime isn't as good. I like how they animated it, I like how they look and everything, but I don't like it. I can't get into it, so I'd rather just read it. That's with some stories. I still want to go read Grand Blue, if anyone has read that or seen it. It's a really funny one. It's all college humor, not the channel, like college humor, a lot of drunk people, like, long pause there, a lot of drunk people, a lot of alcohol, a lot of stripping. And you're probably wondering, women? No, ish. Once it did happen. but not all the time. Usually it's the males. Don't worry, they censor everything, but it's hilarious how it shows up. Like, first chapter, main character shows up. You think, oh, it's a slice of life. Ends up, he opens the scuba store, opens the doors, and there's 2 buff dudes naked. And you're all like, well, what am I reading? Then you read, it's actually comedy, it's all funny, it's hilarious. And yeah, right after that, he drinks a lot. He's like, I can't drink, guys. Like, I'm gonna miss the first day of school. It's like, don't worry, we'll make sure you arrive to your first day of school. Don't ever trust dudes that are drunk. Yeah, he shows up to the first day of school. Not late, but in his boxers, in front of the campus, in front of everyone. Yeah, that's pretty fun. And then the school cops want to arrest him and everything for, of course, wearing boxers during school. And yeah, that was pretty damn funny. I thought it was pretty damn funny. I don't know if you guys enjoy it. I don't know if you guys like the same kind of humor. And I would just recommend, go read that. Go read the Way of the House Husband. Go read Dr. Stone. Go Demon Slayer. I don't like the art style of the book. It's not as good. Yeah, I can only recommend those because those are the first ones that came to mind. Anything else? Whatever, just read it. Because I've read a lot of books, I've seen a lot of anime. So usually when they recommend anything for me, usually there's one that I haven't seen and the rest I have seen. Most of them. When it comes to manga, usually if it's popular, I've already read it or I don't care. So that is it for now. Thank you guys for joining us for the first episode of the Krabby Club. And I hope you guys enjoy. And I hope I'm able to use the Krabby Club theme on the YouTube video for this. If not, well, too bad. Alright, that is all for now. Thank you all for listening, watching, and whatever. And till next time.